When Peter Lynch turned 10, his father died from cancer. It was the real tragedy because the time Lynch's father made a lot of money as accountant. What does provided at a very good lifestyle and mother didn't have to work, but now she had to go back to the workforce, taken on two tasks at once and in order to support his mother, the young Peter Lynch had to grow up quickly and to start working as well. Peter Lynch is near the top of anyone's list of great investors. He constantly trammed the market for over the decades by observing great ideas in the world around him, then researching them and then buying them if they could stand the test of time. In the 13 years he ran the Fidelity Magellan Fund, the record annual advance return of 29.2%, with his father, Peter Lynch's mother, is determined to make enough money in order for Lynch to stay in the private school. She now had that is the best way to guarantee her son's future, but to make it easier for her, the 11-year-old Lenny decided to find a job of his own. He never expected to work at 11 years old. He wanted to have a normal childhood, but Len were a very understanding. By seeing how hard his mother worked to provide for him, he made out his mind from an early age that he were going to make much money when he grew up, that his mother would never have to work again. But the time of job for 11 years old is limited. He ended up becoming a caddy at a local golf club. His first job at a caddy allowed Len to appreciate the hard work and learn social skills. But more importantly, it is there he met his mentor that will completely change his life forever. To help support her mother, Peter Lynch became a hardest working caddy on the golf course. There he meets the executive vice president of Fidelity. Zero Peter stood off from the crowd because of his work ethic, but what really left an expression on Gabriel's were that one time Sullivan misplaced his umbrella and Len used our money as little as it were to buy a new umbrella to give it to Sullivan, and that act of kindness by Peter Len really left an impression on Sullivan. Peter learned excellent work on the golf course bay up, and with Sullivan's recommendation, Len get accepted to Patton College and receive full scholarship from a caddy scholarship fund in college. Peter Len find out that the most helpful subject to learn about stock is not economic and math, but philosophy, especially language. I were the liberal outside of Boston College, avoiding on the requirements and accounting costs, the normal preparation for visiting stack. I study mathematics, logic, philosophy, along with history, sociology, and political science. They call humanity because they are all about people, and finance to be learn about people as Boston College learn school perfectly in text, but he now there are two way to exam his knowledge at not to passing his exam, but by inventing in the real world. Founded in 1945, Flying Tiger were a first cargo airline in the United States in 1961. Uh, it became one of the first carriers in the world to offer aerial packet shipping service. Before then, aerial commercial shipping were expensive and nearly non-existent for larger goods. Flying Tiger would be considered around stock because it were a new and small company, but learned so that the whole area silver industry were going to explode, and Flying Tiger were going to be the leader of it with strong conviction. Peter Lynch bet majority of saving in Flying Tiger stock, but for the next 3 years, the stock become it's never good to pay the original price of $7. Learn but it as if Peter Lynch has no idea what is about to happen. The United States is therefore prepared to take unnecessary steps, including the use of armed force to assist any member of the Southeast Asia Collective Treaty in defense of freedom. The winner were unexpectedly become the best thing that's ever happened to Flying Tiger and early learn though that Flying Tiger business would grow as a result of typing into the commercial shipping business, but the Vietnam war happened so unexpectedly, and it sent the stock price to the sky by 1965. Peter Lynch original $1,250 investment become more than $6,000, more than enough to pay for his grad school at Wharton. While pursuing the MBA, Lynch continued to grad economic and finance class that are out of touch with the reality. The devote on of his free time researching the next stock to buy the after graduation from Wharton to air to get into the real work, but Fay intervened by this time. Netherlands graduated from Wharton. The winner war had reached the critical stage. It turned from a special military operation to a full-blown invasion to U.S. now need to recruit more soldiers to send the battlefield. Peter Lynch is one of them, but fortunately for Lynch, he stationed far from the battleground on the way in South Korea, and he spent a large part of his time reaching his next investment idea. Next, it won't be easy as he is far from away from any company in the U.S., but he believed he could relate, replicate his success with Flying Tiger. He just needs to find another small crowd company that no one on Wall Street now about 10 packer, 10 packer here stock with you make 10 times your money. I suspect this technological term has been parried from PayPal, which go up to the four-figure or home run in May. Business a four-figure in night, but 10-figure year who are better and with but resistant afford better than find a perfect stock to buy. Sugar Beet and Sugar King are the milk plant used to produce sugar, but unlike Sugar King, Sugar Beet can grow better in a cooler environment such as a state of Maine. The My Sugar industry is a refiner of sugar beet. In 1965, the company fired Zenith Solution of increasingly production in real life. The side there are very little overlap between the harvest time of potato and sugar beet. It will be profitable to convince the potato farmer to grow sugar. Be as well and understand clearly that this is a 10 better situation merely because no Wall Street firm had yet taken notice. He immediately bought as many shares as he can by calling his broker from South Korea, expecting to have a windfall. One he go back to American farmer in general tend to be very risk averse, and the main sugar company could convince the farmer to plant sugar beet in fully capacity. Instead, most of them only use less than 1 quarter of their farm after coming home from career. Learn vowed to never make the same mistake in the future. He will never buy stock again without reserve, and more importantly, one-side investigation. If you working hard, you always taking with computer, you taking your customer supplier, you trying to do work to find out if this company still early. Am I there? They have year and year of ground ahead of them. Then you stay with it. Now the stock go down, but in the meantime, he need to make a living. In 1969, through his connection with Jerry Sullivan, he became a research analyst as Fidelity, then the last asset management company in America. By 1930, the mutual funds are mostly small family operation consistent. The firm make up of wealthy people. The only way to grow up the true performance and work out mal plus one person business awards suggestion. Think there a better way as chosen were a great salesman, so he threw to him sell why not strict mutual fund like a product. So he had so she were one of the first to hire professional salespeople who barely knew anything about finance to distribute their mutual fund to the public. On top of that, extortion shift the focus of the mutual fund from a speculative gamble to a sell play for people to unstable return by using the new concept at the time called diversification. By 1962, Federal uh, became the biggest mutual fund company in America, but with success company competition. So what happened from the 40 to the 60 where that's a lot of mutual fund become overly offshore with raising money rather than focusing on making return of their investors. So a lot of different spend so much money on sell people on broker rather than of investment result to big the commission as social start uh, deploying these setup strategy, including a fund focused on technological analysis run by pioneer Jerry Tai, with in Uniguits by the analyzing charts and pattern. Jerry Tai fund outperformed the commission by wide merging. He became a star in the mutual fund industry. His success took finally to the new high. At the time, tactical analytics were relatively new, a type were using magic spot system pattern that older people haven't acquired caught up yet, and that's why it worked for him. By the late 1960s. The pool market is slowing, but with the zealous performance finally and thriving as Astonishing gets closer, his retirement age, Jerry Bataille become an apparent successor, but surprisingly, Astonishing decided that finally a onway going to be family business, and his son Nick Johnson become a new spot at finally after Thai left finally low a great number of clients in the expecting were client loyally always lie were the profits. In their case, they follow with Jerry Tiger, who's yet by 1969 finally found guilty for its involvement in the insider trading scandal when their brokers conspired with a client to commit a trial with profits down and with the loss of client negotiation struggle to find a solution. He understands the to turn finally around. He needs to find someone just talented at tail and Eastern our solution have been standing right in front of him this entire time. America is at a turn point after the Great Depression and World War. It became the most powerful nation on the planet. It a testimony to the efficacy and the resilience of the capitalist economic system, but where there are free markets, there away a cycle up from a bomb and bust. By the early 1960s, the economic recession has arrived. Peter Lynch had a rough childhood, but through hard work, engineer he created from the top business school in the U.S. by learning stock picking from hand-on experience, learn Excel as finally at a research analysis while a stock market collapse. Peter learned stock recommendation try however after the exit of star trader Jerry High finally is struggling to grow its low one-third of his assets in 1 year along the new CEO Nick Johnson aimed to fire a brilliant trader just like Jerry Tye, but little there he now the man who will eventually take finally to the moon is anything but like Jerry Tye. The marathon fund were analytically set up by Ed Johnson and Gerald Sullivan at a boot camp to train future fund manager for Fidelity Magellan started in 1969 at a steel and metal analysis learn were a reserve analysis. But the side here he were building his own little stock that consistently beat the market. So on the employee as Fidelity on way came to hit for stock tip by 1964 it's become apparent the next junction. Peter Lynch is the kind of talent he been searching for. The promotion as the new head of the Magellan Fund, which at a time were a close funds consisting mostly the wealth of Johnson family and their executive has the new boss of the Magellan Fund learns now to outperform the market. He must do in the rest of the market doesn't do as the peer market with on motor fund shift away from stock investing but to learn a peer market. Only mean one thing bargain. There were bargains everywhere, either they made portfolio continue to grow pretty soon. I became now as the wheel rocker of equity, a man who never saw a stock he didn't like at a savvy poker play. Then believe that the portfolio but full of potential 10 packer the law of property will be on his side. If I find 10 good story they on equal strictly. I buy on 10 and I wait to see them unfold. I like watching 10 poker game, 10 game of sub poker. You watch the card turn over story 3, get better. Story 6 slip. Story 7 stay the same but it go up 50%. You sell 7 by 2 and his first 10 packer is a very unlikely. Company Taco Bell were founded by a white man called Glenn Bell who were addicted to hard sell tacos. At his local Mexican restaurant, Bell learned the recipe and opened up his outstand in 1951 before long he made enough money to open a physical restaurant. And then 2 years later, a chain of Taco Bell restaurants start popping up in California. On a trip to California, I were impressed the Taco Bell burrito They had not debt, they never had a restaurant closed, and I started paying at a 7 were the last gate position of Magellan. In 1978, Taco Bell may have been a treasure, but Peter Lynch is not only one who were found is a just less than a year since Peter Lynch investing Taco Bell. The company is acquired by PepsiCo as 50 a share, having influence and reliable information working for Lynch to gain an X with the Magellan Fund. We used to wait for the mail to come see the night inventory where like I found out I get to our library in the first class mail on this information, so the inventing for the app gate person now it much clearer they now the same thing as I do. I want to thank the daily upside and sponsoring this video. Is a free visiting and investing new letter that's over 400,000 people subscribed to include myself in an ad where more than business new privatized destination headline and clickable scare touching the daily upside ear breaks of fresh air for the truthful investor. It's well original, founded by a team of scholar, journalists, and investment bankers with the sole purpose of making you a more well-rounded investor every weekday. They deliver a morning script outloud, followed by more detailed story that is shaping the business world. Is contain the breakdown of current economic and corporate event, event in a clear and explained way, epically and creating impactful content. And as a reader of the daily upside, I think they doing exactly that. I sometimes find it's testing idea and stock that's where about my radar before then I will explore further on my own and open let to stock trade or more insight, and I hope it will help you do the same. Click the link in the description and join me to read the daily upside everything morning. And if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. The new letter by 1978, the ranking inflation have left Federal Reserve very little option. The Dow Jones Phone 18 by 1977. In the same year, Peter Lynch became one of the youngest money managers on the Wall Street, while the rest of the markets is now Sally Lynch Fund has generated 20 profit to Peter Lynch stock picking a live an act form or a sport. The way he practices his act form is by immersing himself in the business. He go into by my stock picking methods, which involve element of science plus legwork had trained in 20 years. Professional investors are missing the point. A pile of software isn't worth a damn if you haven't done your basic homework. The company they scambling to buy survive price set from lumber first coal markets. What and they ought to be spending more time at a more and philosophy equal impracticum with uh, priority learning from direct experience over anything else. People learn from his development test by immersing himself in the business rather than by just reading the number on paper. Essentially, a human reliant approach, meaning that if learn like a product and other people love the product and the management are good people, they sure at a better evidence than just bigger and paper learn become unstoppable. A year later, while the markets had power packed to 18%, learn Madigan Fund has done even better, creating at a 51 return in 1979. We are American guns. Let you thank you for and thank you as Ronald Reagan become a president. The A of properties, the return the pool markets propel Peter Lynch to stardom at it considerably make it my plug-in profits honor Lynch doesn't always pick the right stock. He now if that insurance one stock investment uh, still catch him up where products in 1983. J. Berner were an instant success. It became a popular, especially food store due to its understanding of the local consumer. In Boston, Berner is a specialty food store located across the street from my Boston office. It sells gourmet sandwich and prepare hot food. Bill Biner is the cross between a convenience store and a three-star restaurant. I had first-hand information that they had the best bread and the best sandwich in Boston. The store were perfect for middle class white dollar collar who had a little bit of disposable income who want something better than just microwave sandwich. Poland when the company go public in 1986. The first Eli to buy stock at 13 shares, since he became addicted to their sandwich. Learn the confident that soon the store will pop up corrupt American and a million of middle class American will enjoy their sandwich at heater. What Peter Lynch didn't realize were Bellner were successful because it's were local. Hasn't yet proven itself that they could succeed elsewhere. And when Bellner opened a new store Manhattan, it failed to compete with the infamous New York by the time in company tried to open new location in Atlanta. It had already run up the cash. I'm sure the company learned from the mistake, but there were no second chance. When the money ran out, I quickly unlocked my share and lost it, ranking from 50 to 95. The lesson here is if you prioritize in Texas, hold up buying until the company so can make money in the two idea work in some other place. That's the question. I forgot to ask Peter after learning his lesson. Learn continue to hunt for 10 packer company whose product he enjoy, who have the ability to scale, and who somehow also have been neglected by Wall Street, but learned greater to find out that at his fund grow bigger and he become more famous. It get more difficult to find 10 Packer than by 1989. The Magellan has become the most popular mutual fund in America with $17 billion under management. Peter Lynch had beating the market every year, making him the most celebrated investor one on Wall Street. Tonight, Johnson hiring loan has been a show of genuineness, and 2 million of American finally alien and Lynn finally learned to know question a technical, hardworking, intelligent version, and that's where exactly the brand image next Johnson want people to escalate furtherly, but then at the pick up Peter Lynch carry he did the unthinkable in 1998 and 91 after 11 years of exceptional performance. Peter Lynch's reason for a year he was driven by to decide to provide for his mother and his family. He had pushed himself to work hard like no one else even at the expense of spending time with his children. Peter Lynch now what it's like to not have uh, his father around. Peter Lynch's management of the nation largest and most profitable mutual stock fund for 13 years left his job at Fidelity Magellan Fund in 1998. Lynch's decision to retire young were influenced by his father due as 46 when Peter were allowed 10 as a A for 48. Lynch decided that no amount of money can buy back time with his family, but there one more reason why with finally what many people don't now were that Milligan were closed internal fund for the first 5 years of history. It has less than $1 billion in 1980, which were considered small even that's the time and when the fund is more have you a wider range of company to pick from. And if you look at relevant historical performance, the best year were in early year by early 1990 as a sign of the fund crowd. And as the celebrity is come, it's really difficult to find 10 Packer learn decide why Milligan is still performing well. It is time to retire and cement hereditary status as a more profitable model fund management in history. But little there he now does even after retirement and guests from the past will come back and how him by early 2000 mutual fund and other F the become of the most powerful for in comparison finance as a massive trillion dollar investment company finally opened the biggest shareholder in many major corporations in America. So that literally enough about in the hand and train the fate of the many US company. What happened now if either whether if you actually the husband of executive of company, you need to be one on good team with guy like Larry Fire in the Johnson family in 20A. The sex charge finally for received privately, but the setback doesn't affect Peter Land reception as people trust that Land didn't break the law on purpose in 2022. Peter Land is just as popular as Barry. Either they come to find out that Lin way of investing is just relevant today, even through though the success of management when he has made Learn a rich man, he had made even more money for the Johnson family. Unlike other financial institution, finally is still a private company with on small $8 trillion as of assets under management, and it is still tightly controlled by the Johnson family, who now is arguably one of the most powerful family in America. Thank again the Daily Upside for sponsoring this video. Check the link in the description. You